Saturday, 1 p.m. here in Sydney, Australia. I hope you are doing well. Doing an impromptu live today, so hopefully I can get myself sorted. I am live streaming on YouTube, both landscape and vertical, as well as Instagram. So wherever you're tuning in, please say hello in the chat. Keep me company as I sort of play around with my planner setup for the month of April. I have changed things dramatically. So whether it is the new season, I don't know, or just nostalgia, or just seeing other planners, have their beautiful setup. And look, I've already accepted that I'm going to change my mind, change planners all the time, and I'm going to put on my handheld fan because it's cold here. So I've got long sleeve now. In Sydney, Australia, it is autumn, so the season is changing, but with all the lights, I can get warm under the collar. And look, it's an impromptu live, hair's tied back, headband. I'll put a little bit of lippy on, but we'll see how we go. All right, so what we're going to do today is I am on full desk view on YouTube. So if you are watching me on Instagram, there should be a pinned comment right now. If you are able to watch me either on TV or on your desktop, you can watch me there, or I guess you can also turn your phone the other way. Either way, you can probably enjoy the full experience of the desk view on YouTube, okay? But if you are watching vertical, I'm going to be sort of like moving my planner so that it fits within the, the diameter, the dimensions of a mobile phone. Now here I have Traveler's Notebook in REgualr as well as in A5 size. So I just did a video earlier today. I uploaded a video showing what's inside my Traveler's Notebook. So I will make sure to pop that in the description of the YouTube, but you can go and visit so you can see exactly what's in this little chunky planner of mine. So hello there, Grace, nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you being here so much. Thank you for tuning in on the Instagram. Actually, I have a nice little chat page here, so there we are. Thank you, Grace. I appreciate you being here with me today. All right, so if you want to know all the exact things, planner inserts, pens, all the lovely things, and how I made these cute little paper clips inspired by my minimal planner on Instagram, to check that out. But what I'm going to be setting today is my A5 size, because I woke up this morning very early in the morning. I'm going, I think I want to create notebook versions of my planner system, printable. Hello there, Irene, nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you being here. Irene, the budgeting mama, is here today with us. Let's just shrink that a bit so it fits beautifully. Excellent. All right, so let's get started. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go and do a bigger view on the vertical, but as I said, if you are watching on the mobile and you are able to go and pop onto the full desk view, that will be great. All right, so this is A5. I think I haven't linked it in the description yet, but I'll make sure. So this is not the Midori or the Travelers Company brand. It's another brand. But what I have on here, I've got a little smile, alphabet bead on a jumbo paper clip. I've got the pen holder. This is a Traveler's Notebook. I have my Pentel Energel pen. And then I added this little charm. I think this is a Pandora charm to the front of the elastic closure. And so let's open her up and show you what I have in here. So I have the inside, I've got my Hobonichi weeks, which is what I use for my mood logging. I actually haven't been doing my mood logging at all for the last one, two. Oh, well, no, I missed yesterday, but that's all right. I had a nice little sleep in, so I'll make sure. So I just write down, I'll put these cute little stickers here, Kino print stickers, and then I write down how I feel, why I feel that way, and and then on the other side, I have what can I do to make myself feel better, and then I've got some trackers here on the right hand side. So that's, I have that in here. I did try to insert it within the elastic, but what I found is when I do, or when I am going to go and write in my A5 notebook inserts, it's going to be, it won't be flat. See how it's not flat there? And that's going to annoy me if I want to write on this side of the page. So instead of having it, you know, in the elastic, I'll just keep it inside like that, and then just move it, because I only really use the Hobonichi weeks in the morning when I am logging my mood. Okay, so it's okay that it's not actually in there. So let me just put that aside. So that's the same as it was before, but inside here I printed out what you call this A5 notebook of my planner printable, the monthly planner system that I had been using for the last 2 months. So let me quickly show you the A5 version. Okay, so this is my A5 A5 Filofax in the Domino Soft, and then here are the April pages I had already printed out. Now I thought that that I would be in the A5 ring planner, but changed my mind. So I had already printed out my April pages, so I've got my calendar all set up, everything. Hello there, 24-hour boss. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for popping in. I appreciate you being here. What time is it where you are, and where are you located? Let us know so then we can say hello. Is it nighttime already? So here I am, Saturday the 28th of March at 1 p.m. All right, so we have in Texas. So 24-hour boss is in Texas. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for popping in. So I had already set up my April pages in my A5 ring, but good old me, you know, always changing my mind, or you know how they say grass is always greener on the other side. So I thought, hey, let's go and why not change up? What are we, 28, 29, 30, 4 days out before the new month starts. So 24-hour boss is in Texas, and it's 9:10 p.m. on a Friday. Thanks for hanging out with me on a Friday night. We're gonna have a party, just a calm party of setting up my planner pages. So I already had also my habit tracker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to recreate these setup for the notebook style that I have in my traveler's notebook. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing today. I may talk a bit, I may not, I'll put some music on, but really it's a nice relaxing Saturday. It's actually a beautiful day outside. My older son's doing his stuff and filming or whatever in his room. My husband and my younger son are out and about. Okay, so the planner pages that I have in here, I have, let me show you, I've put together some of the printables that I have had throughout the years. Daily affirmations, my self-care bingo card, my brain dump guide. So if you check out my YouTube description right now, there is a free brain dump guide. So you've got the 4-step brain dump that I do on a monthly basis on YouTube. I've got a brain dump trigger list, and then the free brain dump grid, as well as the running to-do list. So the running to-do list is available in my shop, so that's in the description below. If you are watching on Instagram, if you clicked on my bio, that's where you will find my shop, as well as the link to the free brain dump guide. And so I've just printed this, and I think I've got 9 weeks worth on here. So this is where I'll do my brain dump, set myself up ready for the new week. So that is one set of notebook insert. The other one is the new planner system that I have created. So in here, I've actually got my April cover page that I will embellish today. Want to hang out if you're also setting up your planner. So if you've been sitting, there waiting for a reset moment to set up your own planner pages, you can just sit along with me. So grab your markers, planners, stickers, washi tapes, and just come hang out while I do my own April. So I've got to set up my calendar, my habit tracker, and then of course on my Monday here in Sydney live stream, I will set up the new monthly pages. And then the other printable that I have right at the back is my expenses, my budget and expense printable. Now, I have been saying all throughout the beginning of 2026 that I'm going to get back into tracking my expenses and seeing where our money goes, so then I can plan better and save maybe again. So I haven't been good with my savings at all. So that's what that's what I have inside the A5 Traveler's Notebook, which is going to be, it's actually quite thin. I normally would like having my planners chunky, but the regular size, she's a chunky old beast. She's got everything in there, and so I actually like that. But this one, it's going to be more for the productivity and expenses stuff. I see a familiar face in the crowd. Well, hello there, Sabrina. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, come on. There we go. There. Hello, Marianne and Plannerettes. I will see you hopefully in a bit. Thank you. Yes, come and see us in the so you're on YouTube already, so I see there. Thank you so much for joining. Ooh, itchy throat. All right, so let's go and set up my April cover page. All right, so let's have a look here. Oh my goodness, I must have had something itchy in my throat. I'm going to put some music on, so hopefully it's not too loud. Let me know if you can or cannot hear it. Hang on. Oh, I've got the coughing fit. All right, so what I've done is I've just printed an April. So I went on Canva, got a font that I liked, and then what I did is I reduced the opacity of it, so it's just a nice light gray. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to color over it. So because I had already printed my A5 notebook, of course I can't, and then stapled it together, I can't go and print over it. So I just went to print another set here. Let's grab my glue, and then I'm just going to glue it in place. So I like to have a nice cover page at the beginning of my monthly planner pages. That way, if I do archive this, it has a nice cover page, and it also just brings me back to my school days, when you would go and decorate your exercise books and make it all pretty. Hello there, Brenda. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining a nice little impromptu live. I was actually inspired to go live more often, as I have been. Now let me see where can I've got all my washi here, let me see. Am I going to, let me use the same washi that I had already used for this one. Oh, so that's really pretty. Let's have a look. Which one was that one? Okay, I think I know. It is this one here. All right, let me put that out of the way. And then I think I'm going to go and embellish the top and bottom. So yeah, so if you're just, if you're not doing anything, or if you're just hanging out, you can go and grab your planner pages and set up your April planner pages with me. So if and when my younger son and hubby do walk in from their outing, you know, they're a little bit noisy, I might put on some nice music in the background. But hey, let's have a nice chat while we're at it. So this is a Midori, I think this is a Midori brand, or I can't remember if it's a Midori or a Traveler's Notebook little tabs that I've just added, so then I can quickly flip to my calendar, and then I've got some more at the bottom, and then at the on the side there. So then, because of course I don't have a ring planner for the notebook, I won't be able to insert the clear divided tabs that I have made, in the past. Hello, hello, Elle. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you being here. Oh, I can't hear very well for some reason. Oh, damn it. No one told me. You know why? Because I haven't got my... Oh, thank you, Brenda. Why didn't anyone tell me that my microphone wasn't good? I may have to go and pop this one on. Okay, so let's see how this one works. Oh, sorry, my dears. Sorry. Hang on a tick. When they talk about having little checklist for... Let me see. Is that better? Please let me know if that is better. Hi. Let me know if that is better, please, Brenda. It looks like it's on. Oh, because sometimes when you're doing impromptu, you're not thinking. Let me know if that's... Yes, better. Yay. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can... How can I have this so it's out of my way? I think that's good. Yeah. Does that sound good? I've got the fancy podcasting mic, so hopefully it's not in my way. Okay? Is that better? Thank you for letting me know. Yes, better. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I knew there would always be something. There's always something that I haven't checked. So here's the microphone that I would normally have, and I hadn't connected it. Never mind. All right, here we go. Back to where we were. All right, so if you wanted to create your own cover page, then I'm just making sure I don't knock it. So you keep telling me, okay, if it doesn't go, if it's not, you don't hear me properly, because it is a directional microphone. When I do turn it, it won't capture my voice as much. So let me quickly, I'm going to use the April cover page that I did for the ring planner version as my little guide. So I'm going to use my zebra mild liner. I'm trying to see which markers that I used. I think I used that, and I used this one, and I used which other ones did I use? Oh, I think I used that one, and I think I used a dusty pink. Was it that one? And a mustard. That's it. I think that was it. That. And then I think there was some other one. Where is it? Where is it? I don't know. April. That'll do. That'll do. That'll do. Okay. So yes, Elle is excited for April. I love it. Because of course, April, you know, the Easter holiday. So they're doing we have our school holidays now, because my older one is now out of school, and my young one we homeschool. So April 7th, so after Easter Monday, we will have school holidays. So we follow the same school timeline, like mainstream school. And so we're going to have 2 weeks of holidays for him. But yeah. Hello, Margie. Thank you so much. Whoops. Let's have a pop it here. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you being here. Let me see if I can do it this way. Let's see. Maybe we'll do it this way for a little bit so you can see the full desk. So I'd been going live with the wrong microphone. So hopefully, is it better? As in, is it good? Like, I know it's probably better than my iMac's, what do you call it, microphone. But does it sound good? There's no, like, because it is connected to my desk. You know, hopefully the vibration or the movement of the desk isn't affecting it too much. And let me know if that music is too loud or it's just right. Thank you, Elle. I'll try not to make sure I don't scream too loudly, because it is close to my mouth, and hopefully it's not peaking. I don't think it's peaking. Yeah, so you tell me, okay? You tell me if it is too loud. Oh, perfect. Thank you, Elle. How are you, Elle? How have you been? Oh, no. Oh, no. Wrong color. That's okay. Let's just do this. Nobody knows. I should have just continued with that same color. So this font I got from, or this lettering I got from Canva. So you can get some pretty fonts on the free version. And so I'm not sure if this one is the pro, like the paid monthly subscription. But pick whatever font you like, put it on a Word document, and then make the opacity really low, not too low that you can't see it. So this started out as very, very light gray. So then that way I can trace it. And I just realized I picked the wrong pink again. That's okay. You know, we're going to make do with it. We're going to make do. This is what happens when you go live. You know, what's next? This one. So this particular, if you are part of the my membership on YouTube, this was I created a freebie for the members. So that's one of the perks of being a member. If you know, I create anything for myself, then you get that as a freebie as well. Okay, so there we go. You know, that's probably gonna bug me, but We just breathe in and we breathe out. Okay. If you're on Instagram, say hello. Say hello in the chat. Don't be shy. I do not bite too hard. So tomorrow actually is my 18th wedding anniversary. So we went out Thursday night because the older son helps look after the younger son. So my older son's 18 and my younger son, he's 17. Um, so when he's not working, so we now actually have to time our outing with his days off, either from work or if he's not going out with friends. Okay, so now what I'm just using is I'm just using a black ink. So this one is the Pentel Energel, and I think the refill for it is a 0.5. And then what I'm doing here is I'm just sort of like creating like as if the letterings are, like a bubble effect. And so making it look like the corners, what do you call it? Looks like it's rounded, like it's like as if it's a, those letter balloons. Yeah. So then we're creating instead of a flat lettering, we're gonna give the illusion that it is rounded just by creating those little curvature in the bits where the corners fit in. Happy anniversary. Yes, thank you, Al. So Elle is doing okay. Happy for April to arrive next week. Happy to see you all tonight. And happy anniversary to me. Thank you. Yes, 18 years, but we've been together since 1999. So we've been together, well, now over half of my life. So we met when I was 24 and he turned 25. And so, yes, and still going beautifully well, with all the trials and tribulations of husband and wife, having two teenage boys, having a young, wonderful son on the autism spectrum. We're doing pretty good, Um, we just wish had more money so we can do the other things that that money allows you to be able to do. Margie, what's Margie? I can see your lovely question there, Margie. Oops, let's put it here. Is there a way to get sample Hobonichi pages so that I can play with it before I buy? Margie, you know what I did with that? What I did is I went on to the Hobonichi site and look, I just did a screenshot, okay? I did a screenshot of their pages and layout so then it fit my A4 size because her Hobonichi cousin is A5. So if you have this setup here is A4 page. So what I did is then I just went and got a screen grab, or I copied and the image of a layout. Now, of course, because the image, when you do make it bigger, it's going to lose its pixels. But if you just go and, just go and draw over it with a light pen. Now, I know it's a lot of work, but if you wanted to try this setup that way, then you can use that. Now, I do have in my store A5 size printable, similar width, similar width of the grid, although that one already has pre-boxed frames and things like that. But that's what I did before. Well, actually, I had purchased the Hobonichi, but because when I purchased it, You know, I purchased it in November, and then of course I couldn't use it until the beginning of January. So what I did, if you have a friend who has a Hobonichi cousin, you can ask them to see if you can, you know, photocopy a blank page. And then that's what I did for a long time, but you know, for the 4 or 5 weeks before the new year started. And then I just printed out a copy, and then I made a little booklet just like this. I stapled the, you know, the pages together, and then that is how I got into the Hobonichi pages before the new year started. And so I had already played around with some layout because, of course, some of them start either in January or their spring um, versions start in April. So that is a way. If yeah, if someone near you has any any blank pages that you can go, and even some people even have maybe some you know, planners that they're not using, maybe you can see if they can give you a couple of pages just to see um, if you can try out that way. All right, so there we go. What I did there, I got my Tombow double-ended marker in N95, and then I just created some drop shadow right there. And so I see dear Hanya on the vertical version of my YouTube stream saying hello. Did it show up on here? Did I miss your? Okay, so I don't think it's showing up in my Ecamm, but I do see you. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you being there. Irene says, you remember me or Bob Ross, soft voice and you remind me of Bob Ross, soft voice in making little mistakes. That's right, little mistakes. I'm trying not to speak too loudly because I don't know if I'm, you know, I'll make the microphone peak, you know, when it like reaches, it's like, and if you're listening, and then if I speak too loudly, it might go, ah. But yes, this microphone here, it's one of those fancy, you know, ones. It's a Shure MV7 Plus that has that nice, soft, buttery effect to it. So, yeah, thank you, Irene. Yes, happy little mistakes, happy little mistakes. Yes, you can see one there. So, I may do something about that. Now, in the middle there of that April, there's actually a little, you can't see it now, but that's okay. All right, then the other thing that I did with my April cover, so this one, here's one I prepared earlier. So this one is my ring version. So if you can just, it's very, very subtle, but there is a white gel pen because I wanted to create that, you know, what am I trying to say? The balloon effect, right? And we're making it look like it's rounded. I'm going to get myself a gel pen. So this one is the Uniball Signo, okay, in gel pen. And then what you do, so because the drop shadow is on the right hand side of the letter, so which means essentially if we think of light and shade, the light is coming from this side, okay? So that's why it's creating those drop shadow. So if you're going to create light or reflection, you want it to be on the opposite side, all right? So let's have a look. Let's have a look. So, and then here I'm just going to create some, okay, maybe that's run out. Let me see, what about this gel pen, which is the Pilot Populol. So some of them have run out. No, I think it's probably because I haven't shaken. All right, one more try. One more try. Okay, so this one is the Uni Posca paint pen. Let's have a look. I think this should be better. Probably can't see it too well because light on light. Oh, yep, there it is. Whoop, there it is. The paint started to come out of the tube. Okay, so you can't, it's very subtle. And you're probably going, Marianne, why even create such an effect? Because it's fun. Why do we do the things that we do? Because it's fun. It brings you joy. Okay, so I'm going to put some there, and then I'm going to, and plus we're defying the law of light and shade here. It's creative artistry. Yeah, is that what I'm trying to say? Okay, and we just do long line and dots like that. Okay, and then here we're just gonna create. So there we go. And then here on the L, okay, there. Oh, that looks so pretty. And then look, I sort of hid that little mistake that I made earlier with using the wrong color. So for me, April, well, actually all of 2026, my word of the year. So I don't normally do word of the year. Hello there, Chris on the internet. How are you? Thank you so much for joining. I do appreciate you being here with us today. Thank you. Is this your first time on my live? If so, let us know where you're tuning in from and what time is it where you are today. So I am here in Sydney, Australia. It is Saturday, 28th of March, 1:39 p.m. I mean, what fun thing do you do on a Saturday afternoon or a Friday evening? You hang out with Marianne and you set up some planner, or you just hang out with people in the chat. The plannerettes are so lovely and welcoming. Okay, so here I just because this washi tape, so this is part of a 50 pack from Kmart here in Australia. Is that going to be too wide? Maybe I have to have this even more. I don't want to cover the side of the A. See, and then you just go. So if you have some nice washi tapes and they're a little bit too wide for thickness, you just very gently tear it in half down the line, and then you have create this sort of like jagged edge. And so we're just going to put that there, so then it creates a nice pretty border. Now here in Sydney, March is actually the start of our autumn season, but I break the rules when it comes to themes and seasons. You don't have to go and follow what everybody else is doing. Not that what everybody else is doing is wrong, but for me, autumn colors, because I do bright colors and soft pastel colors. It's my first time live. Let me see if this will work. I don't know if my little let's see. I'm gonna do something on the fly here. So if you just bear with me, I'm going to see if I can do this. All right, just make sure. Hang around with me for a second. This one. What is this one? Let me have a look. What this one is? No. This is the stuff I do. I just either break something or I forget something. But we're gonna see what we can do. Hang on, because you being here deserves a nice little welcome sound. All right, let's see if this works. And if it doesn't, we'll just go, doesn't matter. All right, let's see. So Chris is new. Let me see what what it is. Chris. Yeah. All right. Bear with me. Does this work? Does this work? Hooray! Oh, because I put the thing low. Okay. Let me see if this works. Because I moved stuff around, I'm going to do it again. Hooray. Okay, look at that. All right, let's try it one more time. One more time. So Chris on the internet says it's my first time in live, but I've been follower for a while from Costa Rica. Oh, one of my lovely members, Laura's from Costa Rica. It's 8:39 now, and thank you for the warm welcome. Hooray! Yay! I got my lovely hooray in there. Let's have a look. Hi, Chris. Hi, everybody. I love it. Welcome, Chris. See, Chris. Look how welcoming everyone is, right? Awesome. Thanks, Marianne. You got a triple welcome there because then I set my lovely little welcome overlays. All right. So now the only thing is, see, this is when, you know how I say, don't worry about the small stuff, do it messy. This is not messy, but it is not for my eyes. For my eyes only, it's not balanced. Anyone else like that? Like, there's nothing wrong with the way it's set up at the moment, but because the bottom framing is a little wider, my eye starts to twitch like this. It's going, I don't know about that. So we're just going to balance it. Okay, we're going to balance it all. So when I did this April cover, I actually started off with the markers. Normally I do the opposite. I first look at what washi tape I have on hand that I haven't used, or the that looks good, and then I try and match the markers to go with it. But this time when I set up this April cover that was originally in my A5 ring planner, I did the markers first because I don't normally use these marker colors often. And you know how when you have lots of sets of markers and you have your favorite ones, and then of course if you're like me and buy lots of markers just so then you have the full collection. Am I the only one? Please let me know. Am I the only one that does that? That for me to start either a hobby or have certain, marker sets or whatever, most times I've got to go and collect all the colors in the set. I think it's my brain's way of closing an open loop. So what I'm just doing is I'm going to keep this handy. I won't throw them out because then I'm sure I'll need it for something else. All right, so let's put that little page marker. I think that's better, right? So it's not too thick. And then if I wanted, we're going to see if it's just going to, because there's so much white space, I'm going to just use the tip of the zebra mild liner. So one side is the fine tip end, while the other side is your chiseled and wider. But if you get the fine tip, okay, so that's the other side. It was a while until I found out that these markers are double-sided. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and create tiny little dots because that white space is just too empty for me. Okay, so it's very subtle, so pretty. Love the border. Yeah, these look at those nice colors there. And it's actually the colorings of my setup and my what you call it, my brand colors. Okay, so then just very lightly, soft, tiny dots, because dots transform a page in a very, very subtle way. And it's not too harsh. So because this is a nice fine tip, just those tiny little dots. Okay. So if you've just joined, what I've done is I went to Canva, picked a nice font, all right? So if I can't remember, I'll try and make sure to pop the whatever font that I used from Canva. Now, of course, there is the free version, and then some fonts, of course, are only available in the paid subscription. So I'm assuming this might be in the paid because pretty ones normally um, are not part of the freebie uh, because, of course, whoever designed this needs to earn their keep, earn their money for designing such a pretty font. So, and then what I did is you can either use a gray color for the font and then just reduce the opacity. So light enough that when you color, it's not going to make your colors gray, but then make sure it's not too light that you can't see it. So what I did is I traced over the gray out of each letter, colored it in, and then I went and outlined it with a black ink, did some drop shadow, very subtle light gray, and then used a white gel pen to create sort of like a reflection on the opposite side of the drop shadow. And then here, just put gentle planning because that's what we're going to do in April. We're just going to do some gentle planning. Hello, hello. We have Dandria. Hello, my darling. How are you? Thank you so much for joining. Yes, nice. I know sometimes this time is good for some of my viewers who are, not normally available and during my 5 a.m. start. So I'm so happy that we have some beautiful planerettes popping by. So that's the April cover page. Let me just pop this here so then I can go. All right. So then that's the cover page that I have for my A5 notebook. All right. So I created a booklet. So it's in the shop. I have it linked in the link below. You can either have it so then they're printed back to back and you just put them in order, staple them down the middle. I got a card stock of just, from my scrapbooking card stock pad and then put that as a cover. But you can also have my planner system in the A5 disc bound. So which is what I actually thought I was going to go into for the new month. But you know, this old girl, she likes to change her mind all the time. Because why not? Why do I change my mind? Because I can. And because I get bored or I get highly influenced by other planners who have their setup all pretty. Now, look, granted, this is already pretty. I love it. Okay, so this was if you want have an A5 disc bound. You can, you got my planner printables are available in that. So that's the April calendar. So yes, so you might go, Marianne, so you're going to redo all of them again? Yes, because it's what I would call my procrastination creativity. Maybe instead of doing other things that I'm supposed to do, like cleaning up, I'm going to go and play with my planners on a Saturday afternoon instead and invite you along the way. All right. So, Laura, hello, Laura, pop on by. I've got the link. Pop. Oh, there you are. There is Laura. Um, thank you, Laura. Hello, hello. Now, I know Laura in Costa Rica, it's probably coming up to 3 p.m., right? Because I know, I think it was he was from also from Costa Rica. I had someone else in here. Costa Rica, Costa Rica. Oh, there, yes, Chris, of course. I just, no, Costa Rica, you're going to 9 p.m. It was, I think it was, who was it? I think it was I don't know. I don't know why I thought it was going to 3. It's 9 p.m., almost 9 p.m. How did everything go? I'll chat to you about that if you wanted. But if you wanted to share how your choir went, more than happy for to hear how that went. I love hearing everyone's, news. Great to catch you live. Prima Video. Hey, how are you? Nice to see you. Oh my goodness. We've got some, lovely people popping by. And I guess that's the beauty of going at a different time of the day is, I catch different people at their different, during their different time zone. Thank you for so much for joining me. I appreciate you being here. Now Primal Video, is that you, Justin? I'm trying to see. Is that you, Justin? I'm trying to see the photo. It's you know how sometimes I'm like, oh, that face looks familiar. All right, so where are we? So the April calendar. I'm going to set it up the way I did my ring planner one, but I probably won't do that on camera because there's some other great things to show. So here I also have yeah, it is Justin. I thought so. Ooh, I have, a very well-known YouTuber in the chat today. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate. He's also from Australia. Adelaide, are you from Adelaide? Not too sure. Can't remember. Or no, you're in Brisbane. You're in Brisbane. So who else is? Yes, Laura is here. Oh, Laura's got some news. Let's have a look. What's the news, Laura? Was a roller coaster Friday, but everything is going well. Hello, Prana Lawrence. But you know what? That's the beauty of performing live, just like I am here, going live. I didn't set up my microphone properly. I everything, but that is the beauty of going live. If I ever am too scared to go live because of any of the mistakes that will happen, I'll never go live because even seasoned YouTubers like Justin of Primal Video, seasoned network TV personalities, and big productions, they all have things go wrong during a live from time to time, more so than not, right? We just probably, as lay people watching, probably wouldn't notice unless someone mentions it. All right, so let's quickly have a look. I'm going to go show you how I made, come on, focus. Boop. I made this alphabet paperclip. Georgia, hello. We have the Australian viewers because of course it's Saturday. We are awake. I know for I know when I go 5 a.m. On a my Monday, most of Australian viewers are still asleep, and so I can never catch them. Hello, Georgia. So Georgia is fairly new to the Planrats, but she has been a lovely member of our community joining in. So, okay. So let me show you how I made these cute little what you call it paper clips. Yes, paper clip alphabet things. So that I've got in smile, I've got one in love, and then I have these what does that one say? Calm. So I have to stay calm and steady. All right, so this, if you're watching from Instagram, this was inspired by my minimal planner. So on her traveler's notebook, she has these lovely paper clips. So bear with me, let me pop some music on while I go get the paraphernalias that I need. Okay, bear with me. Okay, all right. So if you are, all right. Ooh, we have quite a few. Let me quickly catch up on some chatter. Catching oops, that's a bit loud in my ear. Catching inspiration for my April. I'm not ready yet. No one is ever ready, Laura, so it's okay. So we go as when we are ready, and never ever um, be feel guilty that we're falling behind. We should go by our. That's why steady, calm, you know, smile. That's why I'm using these, what you call it, these reminders using paper clips and alphabet beads. So you can grab. Oh, is that better? Okay, because I moved the mic. Okay, trying to make sure I don't bump it. So you can get jumbo paper clips. This one's from Daiso here in Australia. Let me see if I can pop that. That's better. Okay, here in Australia. So let me grab one or two of those. Okay, let's just go and move that aside. And then the alphabet beads, you can get colorful ones like these, variety of different colors. You can get ones in black and white. So these beads are from Kmart. So for those Australian viewers, they are from Kmart. Paperclip from Daiso, and then there's also from Kmart these cute ones. So they're nice, different colorings. So let me quickly show you. So the colorful ones, I picked all the same color or letters, and then you've got little emojis. Okay, and then for the steady one, so that there's a nice colorful. And then for the calm, I have the heart emoji and then the black and white one. And then, and now and then. Now and then. Okay. I think that's from Dude, Where's My Car? And then smile is all the different colored ones. All right. So, uh, I may not be able to show you the thing in full, but we're going to try because I might do it in the black and white because the black and white one are all organized alphabetically. But these ones, if I sorted through them, we might be here for hours. So let us do smile. Because let's do smile. Unless anyone else has a 5-letter word that is inspirational when it comes to planning and keeping ourselves calm and keeping ourselves steady. Smile. L is for love. L, where are you? L. Well, I know where L is. L might be in the comment section, in the chat. Haha, L naturally. Okay, so I'm going to use smile. There we go. I've spelt it out. Okay. Right. And then you grab now my minimal planner on Instagram. She has her the letters at the end. So, and I'm assuming she probably has some sort of like super glue. So then, of course, it doesn't slide out. And then that would be actually probably good. So then the pointy bit doesn't scratch your planner. So that's a good idea. But either way, you can either have it on the open end or just around the loop. Okay. So I'm going to keep it around the loop, but you can, it's up to you. I think because I did it that way because my Gorilla Glue or my super glue has dried out. So, and then of course, I'm going to use the longest end as possible. So then that way I can fit more letters. And all you got to do is gently open up the paper clip so it's a straight enough. You don't want to sometimes if you flatten it too much, then trying to roll it back into its original shape might be a little bit harder. Okay, so then you would just insert the letters one at a time. Okay, so that one I need to flatten it a little bit more because the letter wouldn't pass through that little kink. Yep. Okay. Whoop. So that's why flattening it a bit more again. And let's try one more time. E L. Okay, so sometimes the whole of the beads might not be um, big enough, but just push it in a little bit. Okay, SM, and then depending, of course, on the paper clip that you get. If you get one that's bigger than this one and that can fit, your seeds are amazing. Come on, Ecamm. Yay, that's right. Brought, well, this is not a sponsored video, but I do use Ecamm for my recording and my live stream. So I started using them November of 2024. And so, yeah, this is the thing that makes it all pretty, things like this. I can put the chat and I can put 24-hour bosses comment on screen. And then I can have, show you the video that I, made earlier. So if you want to know how, what's inside my traveler's notebook in the regular size, please make sure to check that video out. So I recorded that last night and, uh, you know, um, what do you call it? I recorded it last night, fell asleep, and then I went, oh, lucky. What happened though was I did, upload it, and YouTube processed it, and so by the time I woke up this morning, it was ready to go upload publicly. Now, of course, you sort of have to manipulate it a little bit, so then that way it's sort of like you can put the, the paper clip back on its original form. But once you actually go and slide it in, whether your planner, your folder, you won't see the that it's not flat as the original one. Okay, but make it as flat as possible. And then let's just pop that on here. And then you can go and slide that in on your planner. Okay, so then, did I? Oh, okay. So that bit went a little bit longer because you know what I did is I didn't sort of like put it back or bend it back in its original form. But once you sort of like slide it into a the wherever you're attaching it to, it won't be too much. But of course, if you are not doing live at the same time as you're doing it, I'll probably go and bend that around something that's rounded, so then it looks a little bit nicer. And then you can either push the letters to one side, just like that. What do we think? If you're enjoying this, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Oh, I'm just getting a note from hubby trying not to interrupt me. He's going to get a haircut, and Zach, our younger son, is in the room watching iPad. See, I've got my own little production crew with their with their little what do they call it? What do they call that? The board, whatever the board is. Okay, so there we go. Now we have smile, and yeah, you probably can do it. So this one, as you can see here, I took a little bit more time and bended it back nicely. So that one is smile. Okay, we have again, there's love. Okay, all the same letters and emoji colors. And then on my traveler's notebook, steady, which is my word of the year, and calm, because that's what we need to do to make sure we don't overwhelm ourselves and we don't go crazy trying to get through life at the moment and all the stuff that's going on around the world. Okay. Okay. So that's what that is. But this one I have put in my A5 planner. All right. So I'm still going to be here for an. Oh, where am I putting this? Let's put this in. I'm going to be here for a little while. So if you're still here, make sure you say hello, okay? Keep me company. I know if you have to pop in and out, I am also okay with that. You know, you can maybe come back and watch the replay. Let me just clear my desk, okay? Because we need to make sure we clear some desk area. Now, if you are watching on Instagram or YouTube on the vertical stream, you can check out, oh no, careful, you can check out the pin comment and you can watch the full desk view. And that's where most of the people are hanging out in the chat. So let me just, because you got to clean as you go. All right. They talk about how the brain always is looking for order. Okay. So when it sees that things are out of place, it actually equates that to stress, chaos, that there's threat. And so the brain switches to survival mode, okay, or it switches your a part of your brain, which is the amygdala, and it says, all right, let's shut down all the decision making portion of the brain because we either got to fight something, run away from something, or freeze. Okay, so if you ever go, why can't I do this when all every other time I can make decisions like that? It's either you're overwhelmed, you're burnt out because you haven't had a rest, or you're stressed out. So first thing is, one of the things that can help reduce the stress is just putting things back in order. So that's why it's really nice when you come back in the morning, the kitchen's nice and clean, your desk is nicely organized. And so one of the ways, if you ever go, why am I stressed out? First thing is check your environment. Is everything in its place? And then that way, um, the mind goes, okay, visually, things are in order, there's no threat. Switch the decision making or the cognitive part of your brain, and you can do something that will normally take you, few minutes, but when you're stressed, you can't think. Okay. So if you are watching me on Instagram, hello, nice to see you. If you do want a full view of the desk, I am also on YouTube. And if you haven't yet followed me there, make sure you subscribe to my channel. So what was I going to do next? What did I have planned? Oh, yes. Okay, I'm going to show you how I construct. Do I have everything on here? I'll get all the stuff that I need. So I printed another set of my planner system. Okay, so if you check out the description, I have my planner system that I'm using for the month of April. It's available in an A5 notebook, so you can print it and then staple it together, put a nice little cardstock like this, and then staple it. You can either, because for some of us, we just want a month's worth of printable. We don't want to have to be carrying, lots and lots of our planner printables with us, especially if you work, outside of the home and you got to carry stuff. You might just want to have a little notebook to take with you for your calendar, your habit tracker, and your daily pages. So that's an option. You can also get the printable in A5 size, and you can go and use it in your ring planner. I do also have this for Happy Planner classic size as well as letter size. So if you're one of these people that like to have lots of space when you're writing and you don't want to be confined with the smaller space of an A5, you can also purchase the planner printable in the letter size. So I'm going to go and show you how I construct the notebook set. So here's Here's one I prepared earlier. Okay, so I have it. Let's make sure that it's in the correct order. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have worn a long sleeve. Remember that for next time. Even though it is getting cooler here in Sydney, it's under the lights, it is quite warm. All right, so I have, this is in A4 size paper. I have 2 pages, so when it's folded in half, it becomes an A5 size. I have, this is a Martha Stewart folding board that I purchased many, many moons ago. And yeah, so it's actually to help you make envelopes as well. So it's got a little envelope guide here, but I like to use it to help score my pages. And in here there is a bone scoring thingy bobby. Yes, that's the technical name, is the thingy bobby. And then so I just go and use the corners to help fold it. Okay, so then just use the scoring bone to help crease it. And then let's put that aside. Let me just pop some music on. So then that way, I can concentrate. Okay, so we just fold in half. So when you go and fold an A4 size paper, it goes into, when it's closed, it's an A5 size. I'm trying to concentrate, make sure that I'm folding the pages in the correct order. I like this clever music. Monday, Tuesday. And then I'm going to show you, I don't know where I saw it. I saw someone who was creating notebooks Friday, Saturday. He was creating notebooks. I had a nice long neck stapler that I got as a hand-me-down from my mum. And it broke. So then, for me to be able to staple my A5 notebooks, I had to buy myself a new stapler. Okay, just doing some light scoring to begin with in case I get it wrong. Okay, so if you have a printer at home and you like creating your own planner inserts, then this is a great way to be able to print out your own, print as many as you want. So you just purchase the PDF once. And if you're like me, who likes to change her mind all the time when it comes to creating your own planner planner setup, then you are not bound by book bound or dated planners. Okay, so then there we go. So that's my A5 printable. Now we need a cover. Because it is a spring and Easter, let's get some pastel cardstock. So I bought this, again, many moons ago, because I thought, originally I think I bought it because, that's a pretty green, because, oh no, even better. Maybe I should have used this for Easter or April, although it is a little bit flimsy. How many GSM is this? It doesn't say. It might be actually, this is not really a cardstock. I've changed my mind. Okay. Because it's not thick enough. Okay, this is better. Okay, because it is 100 GSM. So of course, because it is a cover, you want it to be a little bit sturdier. So if you are making your own notebook planner pages and you want to create a cover for it, make sure you get a nice thicker cardstock, because you're going to be opening and closing the notebook so often. And then I got my paper trimmer, trying to fit this on my desk without knocking stuff over. Okay, let me see just for a second if I can go and make this a bit. All right. Okay, and I'm just going to get an A4 size paper as my guide to the size I need to cut my cover. Brain left there for a second. So I'm going to just go line up the edge of the A4 paper. I'm going to go and just, how they say, measure twice, cut once. For this purpose, I'm just going to cut it a little bit wider. So then if I need to trim it, I have that little bit of an extra edge. And then let's go and trim the short end. Okay. So if you go into my Amazon storefront, you'll be able to see all these different tools that I'm using. It should be in the planner tools. Okay, so now I have a cover page in A4 size, and then I'm going to go and fold that in half. Okay, I'm going to see if I can get my my son to get me something. Okay. All right, let's just I'm making a big mess on the floor. Hello? Come out here, please. Okay, I'm gonna ask my son for help. All right, so then I have my cover, and then I will show you the stapler that I have. I'm asking my older son just above there, my stapler. Grab it by the bottom. I don't want you snapping. Okay, and this is, thank you, Josh. This is the stapler that I purchased. I'll make sure to pop it in the description. But that says Boss Titch. So it's a nice hefty weighted stapler. So the way it's, if you can see, the way it is constructed is you fold your notebook so you can create any type of notebook that you want. And because if it a normal stapler won't be able to staple a little booklet like this, because you need to either have a long neck stapler or this one. So I was going to buy myself another long neck stapler, but sometimes what happens is you have to try and line up the where the staples are going to go through, and sometimes it might be misaligned. It might not staple right in the middle, but this one is specifically made so then you put the fold or whatever notebook you have, and if it is a little bit longer, you can then you can have the pages curl up a bit. But because I'm using an A5 printable, then it's that's fine. So I'm going to try and show you sideways how it looks. Okay, so then if you want to create your own inserts for traveler's notebook, or just create your own little notebooks, now of course granted it's an extra cost, but if you're like me that love creating your own notebooks, this is a great way. So I'm going to just put it to the side so you can see. I'll do it this way. All right, so then you just line up where the fold is to the fold of the stapler, and then that will staple right in the middle of the fold. Okay, so I'm just going to line it up so then it's nice and straight, and then I just line the edge here to make sure, and then I just press down so then all the pages fold are all lined up. Okay, because then if it's not, you might not be able to staple. Whoop, it moved there, right in the middle. And then I'll show you, and then look, it's stapled. You can't see because it's black and white, but right in the middle there, it's stapled it. So then all the staples punch through the middle of the fold of your notebook. So that is how I create my own little notebooks using this stapler. So I'll make sure to pop it in the description soon after. I have lots of things on my floor right now, so you can just leave this as is. Let me just make sure. Let me quickly have a look. So then I just want to make sure the other one is back to normal. Whoa, where did my thing go? Okay, right. So here you can leave it like that, but Marianne, she likes to have everything nice and neat. So then it's like this. It is nice and straight, like this edge. See? Nice and straight. Because, I claim to be a perfectionist, but really it's probably me just, avoiding some task that I'm supposed to do. That is now how I see the excuse I used to make of, oh, but I like things to be perfect and blah blah, and I don't like things to be messy. It's just an excuse not to do the actual work I'm supposed to do. All right, so what I've done here, I'm going to go back to the full desk view. If you are watching on Instagram or on YouTube on the vertical version, in the pinned comment, I do have the full desk view and link to my YouTube available. So then if you want to really see more detail, and if you want to, watch me on the big screen or on your desktop, then the landscape version on YouTube is where it's at. All right, so how are we going? Are we still all here? Please give me a thumbs up to let me know that you are enjoying hanging out with me. All right, so I've got myself a little cutting, self-healing cutting board. So this is nice because then it's just a nice narrow one. I think I purchased this one maybe from Daiso. I've got my Fiskars craft knife. And then if you are going to trim any pages like I am here, make sure grab yourself a metal ruler, because then of course if you are sliding your blade on plastic, you might actually cut into the plastic, and then of course if you want to use that ruler to line things up, then you might ruin the integrity of the edge of your ruler. And so the self-cutting mat, because it has a grid, just so then I can line it up so it's all 90 degrees. Yes, we have that. Okay, yes, we're still here. Georgia's here, thumbs up. Thank you, Georgia. L is here. I love that name. Georgia, yeah, it is a pretty name, isn't it? Okay, so what I like to do when I am cutting or trimming the edge, I try and look which side. You know how sometimes when things get folded, sometimes one side might be a little bit narrower. So I try and see which edge is narrower. So then when I'm trimming, then of course everything below that is trimmed as well. Oh yes, everyone's still here. Excellent. Yes. Thank you so much. Yeah, because sometimes, not that you have to go and tell me that, you're here, because sometimes I do that too while I'm watching other people's live stream. I'm in the background doing whatever stuff and everything else. Yes, yeah, yeah, it is a pretty name. Dangia says, Marianne, how many pages would a staple? Like 10 at a time? So this one, the pages that I'm using here are 120 GSM. So any thicker, then you might start to get too thick, right? And also, the thicker the pages, the things that's on the inside will mean it'll protrude out more. And so, depending on the printable that you have, because the inside is further out when you're trimming it, you might start to trim, parts of the printable. So this one at 120 GSM, including the 160 GSM cover page, you got one, two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, 10. So I think I'll keep it to only 10. Other pages you might have a little bit thicker, but just do be mindful if you are stapling or if you are putting stapling pages together, the number of pages that you have will first of all depend on the thickness of the page, as well as the capacity of your stapler and staples. So the staples I have in here. So I'll make sure to put all the details in the description. So of course you'll also depend on the length of the staples, is how many pages that you can staple together. Okay, so just bear with me. As soon as the live stream finish, I'll make sure to put the links to the staple. Okay, so yes, great. Yeah, so just really depend, because I tried stapling. I didn't have 120 GSM paper handy with me one time when I created it, so I thought, oh, I'll just do 160 GSM, but it got too thick. It was hard to fold. It was hard to stay flat, and of course, your stapler may not go through all of them. Now, if you don't have a stapler like that or a long neck one, I think what I did for a little bit there was I'm trying to square it up so then it's 90 degrees and I'm not making my page skewed. Okay, now please, 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 with anything that is sharp, do be careful. I'm always wary that, I betcha when I'm doing this live, and I hope I didn't jinx myself, but I'm going to keep my fingers out of the way. And whatever you're cutting, okay, don't put too much pressure that then you get tired and then it moves because you get fatigue. And only slide your craft knife very gently. I'd rather you only cut through one page at a time rather than trying to cut, through several. So you just have to do this, see, bit by bit. Don't put too much pressure. Don't press too hard on your craft knife. Make sure that it's your knife is uh, this angle and not cutting into it. So try and have the edge of the knife against the edge of the ruler. Okay, and just very gently. No need to rush. Don't want to rush when there is sharp knives about. Okay, and then this is going to give you a nice, clean, straight edge. Okay, so if you even have like notes, or you got recipe books. Now I'm trying to clean up the edge. Okay, and then this is a really great way to create your own book bound little notebook or planner pages. Okay, here we go. Look at that. Nice clean edge now. All right, and then you can do the same for the top and bottom, because remember I cut the cover page a little bit wider, so then it's actually I don't know if you can see it, it's just a tiny little bit wider at the top. So I might just trim it again using the grid of the self-cutting mat as a guide. And then, boop, boop, boop. Okay. And we're just going to again slide that knife through. So you probably may not cut properly because it's only really the edge of the cover page. And I may have ruined this more than I actually fixed it. Okay. So then the other side, because yeah, really it wasn't cutting the inner part of the planner page. So if you're one of these that like creating your own stuff, this is a really good way to do it. And then yes, you can buy planner inserts, and of course for those of us that may not have printer, then of course you can't print your own printable at home. But then there are some printing services that you can. My printer at the moment, so if you hear someone singing, that's just my younger son having a good old sing-song. What was I saying? My printer, unfortunately, I purchased a non-branded ink, and I don't know if the printer knows that it's not its own brand, or if it might not have been a premium ink. And so of course now that it doesn't print boldly, and so as much as I'd like to be able to create and sell the printed one, fortunately, until I get rid of all the printer that's or the ink that's in my printer, I have to put up with some subpar quality print. It's fine for me, but
But how dare you hitting yourself?
Zach,
You're hitting yourself.
Zachy, Mum's filming. I won't be long.
But how dare you dare?
So that's Zach, my lovely 17-year-old, who his language it's well yeah it's he doesn't have communication problems. It's just his grasp of the language is a little bit delayed, but he's a rote learner, so he mimics, or what's called echolalia. So he echoes a lot of the rote learning phrases, especially his YouTube videos that he watches, and he loves making, character voices. And so that's what he was doing there. Okay, so there we go. That is my own A5 My Planner system printable that I folded, I scored, I created a cover page, I stapled together. So then I have my my May printable ready to go for the new month. And then I can add that in my A5 Traveler's Notebook, ready to go. There it is. Okay, so in here again, for those of you that's joined, I am moving into a traveler's notebook for April, and inside the A5 size I have in here the printable that I have printed for with my brain dump page, as well as my running to-do list. My April, where I showed you my cover page, I will do off screen, redo my calendar, because I thought I was going to be in my A5 ring planner for April, but changing my mind. So I'm just going to redo the April calendar again, and put all that information in the notebook, as well as my habit tracker and my mood and steps tracker. And then for Monday, the 30th of March, then I can start in my self-care and habits spread and my weekly and daily pages. And then, because I've been telling myself that I'm going to be in what you call it, would be starting to track my expenses again. Um, I think I started saying that back in December or November, but I haven't. So, of course, when I'm not tracking my expenses, what happens? I spend my money on things that maybe I shouldn't be spending on. And so I've got my budget bundle printable. So that's also available in my shop. You can purchase these printable as standalones, where, if you just want certain pages to go into your A5 planner, or you want to create a notebook like this. So I've got my zero-based budget income tracker, and then I have my expense tracker. So for the moment, for the month of April, I'm not going to worry too much about how much money for each budget, because I don't know how much money I should be having for each budget, because I haven't been tracking my expenses. So if you are also on a financial journey, whether you want to save more or want to get out of debt, before you create a budget for yourself and say, oh, I should only spend this much on grocery, only spend this much, what you don't know how much you should be spending if you don't know, or how much you should be budgeting for if you don't know how much you're spending. So if I say, oh, grocery will only spend this much, but now, I've got two grown teenage boys that's eating us out of house and home. Maybe I need to up my grocery budget, but I won't know that until I start tracking it. So I've got my budget worksheet bundle in there. And then today, you saw me put together my May, I have to always say April, May, my May planner pages A5 notebook. I constructed that on here. Let's quickly, hi Zach, yes, hi Zach. So let me quickly, I'm going, why is my lighting has changed? Because the blinds are open. Yes, Zach, I try not to tell him to go to his room too often, because, when mum's videotaping, I'm always going, shh, shh. And for someone who's on the spectrum and trying to, take them out of their normal routine, I'm just asking for trouble, because, he thrives off routine. He thrives off knowing what he needs to do next. And so, yeah, very important. Love the black and white cover page. Yeah, so that was... so this one I purchased from Officeworks here in Australia. So the brand is Born, and then yeah, so it's got all these different designs on there. So I've used up quite a few already from previous planner printables that I have. And Katie, hello, nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. Very inspired to upgrade my planning. Thanks, Marianne. Yes, please, if you are like me and get highly influenced by other people's planning setup or highly inspired, then you're in the right company because I change my mind pretty often, pretty often here, Katie. So, and that's the thing now is I don't feel bad because sometimes I know for a lot of us who loves planning, buying planners, buying stationery, washi tapes and stickers. And look, I was in a Hobonichi. I thought, okay, 2026, we're going to try Hobonichi again. I tried it in 2024. By around about this time, I did the same thing. I couldn't stay in it. It's just the way now I know the way my brain works is that I need variety, I need novelty because I'm not diagnosed, but I think I have some ADHD tendencies where I'm always getting distracted, squirrel by different things out there. And, I'm either hyper focused on certain things like certain planners, and then I will get bored. So now it is part of my inner personality that I know I will change my mind. And I welcome that. I just have to be mindful not to go out of control and spend too much on different planners. All right. So that is my A5 Traveler's Notebook printable for the month of April. So I actually quite like that she's nice and thin because then this is sort of like very much productivity and budgeting wise. And then my traveler's notebook in the regular size, she's chunky and I love that. Look at her. It makes me feel like I'm doing something good. So inside here, I have different planner inserts that I also made. So just plain blue lines for some notes, journaling, and brain dumping. I have my list of stuff in here as well to note down things that I don't know what to do with yet or um, when to do them, as well as some fun trackers as well to track books I'm reading, okay, TV shows I'm watching. So, planning is not just about productivity and doing your to do list. It's also looking after yourself, taking some time off for yourself, enjoying the things that you do, tracking movies, and some fun savings. So I'll start my 52-week savings challenge next week, where for the next 52 weeks, you save that dollar amount each week. Now, of course, I can save more. It's not about how, because I remember someone said, why don't you just save that amount in one go? Or why do you need to save $1 one week, $41 another? Because with any habits that you want to either be more effective with or start, you need to make it fun. You may need to make it attractive. You need to make it obvious. You need to make it easy. And you need to make it satisfying. Those are the 4 laws of behavior change according to James Clear's book, Atomic Habits. So if you ever find yourself getting bored with stuff, make it fun and make it like a little game, a little challenge. So yes, you can save up more than $1 one week and more than $29 another week. But the whole point of a 52-week savings challenge is to help you build your savings muscle. So as the more consistent you are putting money aside, then saving money is going to be easier, which I haven't been doing for a while, which of course shows in my expenses when I'm buying a pen here, more washi tapes over there, more planners. Okay, so I need to go and curtail the spending. And so I'm going to start doing my 52 weeks savings challenge. So if you've enjoyed this live stream, make sure you go and hit that like. And if any planner friends of yours might also enjoy it, I'd love for you to share it. And of course, make sure to subscribe to my channel. So if you want to see the full flip through of the planner traveler's notebook, make sure you go and check my YouTube channel, and I'll make sure to have that link here once this live stream has been processed. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye everybody. Bye.